You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode number 86. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I'm going to talk about the purpose of painful emotions. So I've been really eager to share this one. I've done a lot of effort just outlining some important things to know about certain emotions. Now, this will be really important for you as a coach to know because you'll have clients that will struggle through certain emotions and they will want to get rid of them. They will want to stop these emotions. They will not see the purpose of these emotions. One of the things that I've learned to be true through my own challenges I've gone through in my life is that every emotion has a purpose. And while certain emotions are more painful than others, there is purpose to that pain. And there are deeper meanings to certain emotions that may be helpful for you to understand and for your clients to understand. Now, one fundamental thing that you want to understand as a coach is that there's no such thing as a positive or a negative emotion. So I would be aware of if you're using these terms or labels to describe emotions, because there's no such thing as a positive or a negative emotion, or a good emotion and a bad emotion, because every emotion is purposeful. There's reason behind it. There's validity to it. So in our culture, though, and in our upbringing, in our media, we are very much pushed to think that certain emotions are bad. And when we're not feeling happy and joyful, then something must be wrong. Okay, and really there's nothing wrong at all. We're just having a human experience, and we're just having a human emotion, which we're supposed to have. So in this episode, I want to reveal how certain painful emotions can be purposeful, how and when they can be helpful and purposeful and meaningful in your life and also in your client's life. So all the emotions that I'm going to share in this episode are emotions that I still feel often to this day. Someone who's been running a multiple six-figure coaching business for years. I've had a ton of success in this industry, and I still have all these emotions. I remember once I was working with a client and she said that, here's what I want to be coaching on, Frank. She's like, I just want to stop feeling shame. And we had a very playful conversation about it because one of the things that she realized is that there's no off button for an emotion. So rather than trying to resist an emotion and avoid it and judge it, which ends up just creating more of it, what if there's a way for you to lean in and get curious and really understand what the purpose of all emotions are, okay? So in this episode, I am going to cover the following emotions. I'm going to talk about frustration, regret, anxiety, pressure, sadness, doubt, and jealousy. So buckle up. I'm really excited for this one. Now, I want you to think, how often do you experience these emotions in your life? Frustration, regret, anxiety, pressure, sadness, doubt, jealousy, right? If you do experience these emotions, I have news for you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just a human having a human experience. You're supposed to feel emotions as a human. So you might think that if you feel these emotions, there might be a part of you that thinks there's something wrong with you. Or here's another way this shows up. You might think, why am I feeling this way for so long? Why can't I just get over it? Why can't I just move on? Why can't I just let go? Right? These are subtle ways that you might be judging yourself from having emotions without really seeing the purpose of those different emotions. I know they're all painful, but pain is not bad, right? There's so much you can learn about yourself from experiencing pain. Pain is often what we need to grow. And a lot of people struggle because they just don't really understand the big picture of why emotions exist and why they're showing up for us. They just think that certain emotions are good, certain emotions are bad. And a lot of people think, well, what's the right strategy that I need to apply in order to move forward in my life, whether it be building their business or navigating a health challenge or career challenge. They'll think, what's the strategy? A lot of success is not by applying the right strategy. It's from knowing how to regulate and understand your emotions. Okay? And that's a lot of the work that you'll actually be doing with your clients, is just helping them understand the purpose behind what they're feeling. And this doesn't mean you have to go deep into their childhood and resolve trauma that they've gone through in their past. When people hire coaches, they're not really needing that. It's just really knowing why an emotion's there. What's the purpose of it in general? Okay, so my intention for you for this episode is I want you to have a healthier relationship with your emotions, and I want you to see how you can also share this with your clients and support them as well. So when I think of an emotion, I think of that term, it just means that there's some kind of vibration going on in your body. That's all an emotion is. It's some kind of vibration that's moving through your body. Emotions, they just move through us like clouds in the sky. A cloud comes and it passes. That's how emotions move themselves through our body. We're taught to resist and reject any kind of painful emotion, right? We are taught that they are a bad thing. Sometimes in our life, we are punished for having certain emotions, right? Maybe you've had times in your past where you were criticized in a way for having some kind of emotion. So if a part of you resists and is challenged by any one of these emotions, I want you to know that it's not your fault, because it's very much ingrained in how a lot of people are raised to understand themselves, okay? And there's also a big belief that so many people have that the meaning of life is to be happy. So therefore, if you're not feeling happy, then something must be wrong, right? There's something that's off if you're not happy. It's funny because I recently was teaching a positive psychology course, because inside the academy, we also teach our coaches positive psychology as a continuing education option. And what has been found through positive psychology research is that when people pursue a meaningful life, oftentimes that involves a lot of pain and discomfort and a lot of emotions that one wouldn't attribute to happiness. But it's essential to have those painful emotions. They're like the ingredients to creating a fulfilling, meaningful life. So there's been a lot of research done on this as well that's revealed that there's actually a lot of validity to certain emotions that might be painful. So let's start with frustration. When you're frustrated, right, these are moments when your buttons might be pushed. Here's the purpose of frustration. Frustration is what informs you of what your values are. Frustration is also what informs you what you're passionate about. So whenever someone triggers you or says something or pushes your buttons or something that irritates you, right, this is a good clue that your body is signaling to you on what your values or your needs are. So when you have frustration is giving you an opportunity to honor yourself and maybe set a boundary or standard for you and for your life. So for example, I remember that when I was earlier in my career, even before I got into coaching, I was back in college, actually, I was thinking of what I wanted to do with my life. And whenever I thought about working, I was in an internship and I was, in this office environment. I had a boss and everything was very structured and scheduled. I was told what to do. And I was so frustrated sitting at my cubicle all day. And I realized that I was so frustrated working for someone else and not feeling like I had any freedom in my life. And I felt very trapped. And I was frustrated by all of that. But that frustration is what revealed to me what my values are, what my passions are. And it revealed to me what kind of life I wanted to have for myself. So that frustration became fuel that I used to create my own business. So your frustration can become fuel, right? If you're feeling frustration, that's purposeful. It's fuel for you to, create what it is that you actually want. So what is something in your life that you might be frustrated about? And what could that frustration be trying to tell you about what your values are, what your passions are, or maybe what boundary you want to set for yourself? So sometimes people feel frustration in relationships with others, right? Your frustration is there because it's telling you there's a boundary that you need to set for yourself. There's a new standard that you have an opportunity to set for you and your life and your relationships. So get in touch with your frustration and see what it's trying to reveal to you. Okay, let's talk about the next emotion, which is regret. So regret it can be very, very painful. If you've ever had the regret before, you know how painful it could be. But here's the thing about regret. Regret is there so that way you feel like this sense of disappointment over decisions that you made, or maybe things that you didn't make, or opportunities that you missed. So regret is there to inform you how to live intentionally. Regret is what informs you how to live intentionally. So if you were to die tomorrow, what would you regret not doing, or not trying, not pursuing? Think about that. I know it's a tough question, and a lot of people avoid it because they're like, oh, I don't want to feel any regret, so I'm just going to stay in my comfortable little bubble. But it's a really important question for you to face and for your clients to face. If you died tomorrow, what would you regret not doing, not pursuing, not saying, not sharing with the world? In fact, there's been research done on what are the things that people regret most in their life. So her name is Bronnie Ware. She was a palliative care nurse, and she would work with people in the last phase of their life. She'd sit beside people in their last days of life, and she would have conversations with them. And she compiled and noticed all these themes. And she noticed that there were common regrets people would share. And the top regret of the dying was the regret that people shared. And it was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. Isn't that powerful? I always get chills when I share that with people. It is the number one regret of the dying. Wishing you had the courage to live a life true to yourself, not the life that others expected of you. So that's why when you ask yourself that question, if you died tomorrow, what would you regret? Because that regret is going to inform you of how you can start living deliberately today, how you can start living intentionally today, what decisions you can start making today, so that way you don't have that overall sense of disappointment at the end of your life. Okay? So that's how purposeful regret is. There's so much insight you can get about yourself from the emotion of regret. The next emotion I want to talk about is anxiety or fear. Okay? So anxiety and fear is a very common emotion people feel. And I want you to know that anxiety, sometimes we feel anxiety like right before we are about to take some kind of bold action or put ourselves outside of our comfort zone or do something new or step into the unknown. Okay? So when I'm working with clients and they feel some anxiety because they're about to do something out of their comfort zone, I help reframe anxiety for them, and I'll tell them that, anxiety is just aliveness in your bones. It's aliveness in your bones. So think about that, like something that is giving you anxiety in your life right now, like you're afraid of some kind of unknown. What if that's just aliveness that's showing up in your bones? Okay? Now, when you're feeling anxiety and fear, what you don't want that to do when you don't examine it, often what people do is they just let it stop them from taking action. They don't make any decisions. They don't take any action. They just stay comfortable, right? So when you have anxiety come up for you, then it's oftentimes like you want to lean into that. You want to embrace that. You want to move towards those opportunities where you have a little bit of an anxiety feel. There's a little bit of fear, because it's going to open up new opportunities for you. And when you do that, when you make new decisions and you take new actions, guess what? You get new results, right? So the anxiety is just part of the process, right? Fear is just, it's like the price of admission towards the life of your dreams. Think about that. What if anxiety and fear is just price of admission? You've got to feel those things to create the life of your dreams, right? It's very normal for you to feel that, especially when you have a new opportunity, decision, or possibility in front of you. So there's the unknown in our life, which gives us fear, but we need to embrace the unknown, right? If we go back to the earliest days of our species, we think about the cavemen, right? What if they just said, I don't want to leave the cave because it's scary out there, right? You got to go outside the cave. You got to experience the world. You got to feel that anxiety. You've got to embrace the unknown. So anxiety is a wonderful thing because it's showing that you are embracing the unknown in your life. You are leaning in to all that life has to offer. Okay, so you feel that fear and you go do it anyway. Next is pressure. All right, so pressure is another emotion that a lot of people think is bad. They think, oh, I'm feeling pressure, I should stop. Don't want to feel any pressure, it's a bad thing. So not all pressure is bad. In fact, pressure is actually very purposeful. When it's encouraging you to, especially when it encourages you to take action steps in your life, to move forward, when it helps you show up to your life in a bigger way. So I found that pressure has helped hold me accountable to certain things in my life. So if you or your clients ever feel pressure and you think that, oh, I better ease off the gas, I'm feeling pressure, what if you just embraced it a little bit more? Because pressure is what holds you accountable, okay? I say this all the time. It takes pressure to make a diamond, all right? So it takes pressure to make a diamond. Pressure is an emotion that's so purposeful because pressure is what holds us accountable. So for example, when I was in grade school, I was big in the music department, played the clarinet, and we would have a concert every spring and every fall. Actually, we have a winter concert and a spring concert. And, we had pressure as an orchestra, as a band, to perform in front of an entire auditorium of our family and friends, all people in their community. And I had a few solos sometimes with the clarinet, and I felt all this pressure whenever I was given a solo. And it was good because that pressure is what held me accountable. So having the pressure of, wow, there's a date coming up where the auditorium is going to be filled with people, that pressure is what encouraged me to practice, and make sure that I showed up in the best possible way. So if I didn't really have that pressure, I really wouldn't care. I wouldn't give it the effort that I knew it needed to get the results that I wanted to have. Okay, so pressure is a really amazing ingredient that you could use to your advantage and your clients can use as well to their advantage. Next, I want to talk about sadness. So sadness is usually associated with loss. When we have a loss of something or someone, we feel a sense of sadness. And sadness can be a very heavy emotion when we feel that. And here's what I want you to remember about sadness, a way to reframe it. Sadness is something that shows the depth of how much you care. Sadness shows you the depth of how much you care about someone and something. So when your client is experiencing sadness, it's just showing them how much they really cared. If they didn't feel that sadness, it's just like, oh, they didn't really care to begin with. So sadness is painful to experience. And it also is just a good reminder of how deeply someone cares. Okay, and there's beauty in that, in realizing that about yourself. If you've got sadness, it just shows that you're a really caring person. You love deeply, you care deeply. So sadness is beautiful in its revelation of that. Okay, so the next emotion I want to talk about is doubt. Doubt can often be very painful and a big challenge for people. So when we have doubt come up, often it comes up as a way to help preserve and protect us. It's like a self-preservation mechanism. So it's trying to protect you. And oftentimes, we have all these doubts when we are not really sure what's going to happen. And maybe we have like confusion that's very related to doubt. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Am I good enough? And it could be really hard for people when they have that doubt and don't know how to really understand the purpose of doubt. Okay, so the purpose of doubt is that it's trying to protect you, right? It's part of human nature to have doubt that causes you to say, hold on a second. Are you safe? Are you sure? Are you going to die? Right? So there was a time in the history and evolution and all the things, like all the thousands of years ago, there were times when we needed our doubt to come in and say, wait, stop, don't do that, right? There are wild animals in the jungle. They're going to eat you. There was times when the doubt really served us for our survival. But a lot of times today, it's really your survival is not at risk. It's just that your doubt's there just to have that check-in, just to protect you. But what you've got to remember is that you're okay, right? So doubt is great because it's showing you that you have a part of you that's there to protect you when you really need it. So it's really helpful when you could acknowledge your doubt and say, thanks for showing up, doubt. Thank you for coming up to protect me, and I'm going to be okay. So doubt is something, another purpose to doubt is it gives you an opportunity to reinforce your why, to reinforce your vision. Okay, it gives you an opportunity to commit to yourself on a deeper level. And I found, especially growing my coaching business over the years, I've had doubt come up at times right before I was about to up-level everything. So one example I love sharing is that when I was getting started as a coach, I was really struggling in that first year and putting myself out there a lot, still figuring out how business works. And I was given this job opportunity for a sales position, and they were offering me 6 figures as a starting salary with a lot of opportunity for improvement. And there was that offer laid out on the table for me, but I knew deep down I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to help people and make a contribution in a way that felt meaningful and in a way that really had a positive impact on people's lives. So I had this doubt, though, of would I be successful as a coach. But when I had this opportunity that was sitting in front of me, I was able to really face that doubt by using it as an opportunity to commit on a deeper level and tell myself, you know what? This is so important to me. I'm gonna remind myself why I want to make this contribution, why I know I'm born to be a coach, why I want to make this impact on people's lives, right? So I was able to get deeper in touch with my why and my vision, and the doubt is really what created the space to do that. If I didn't have the doubt, I wouldn't have really started having that conversation with myself. So doubt is an invitation for you to really get in touch with the person you are, with what you care about most, and also with the future that you want to create for yourself, right? So doubt is like the pathway to your certainty. Even though doubt, a lot of people think doubt is just being uncertain about something. Doubt is the pathway to certainty because it opens the conversation up where you can really talk with yourself about, why am I really doing this, right? Why is this important to me? What would my success look like? Where do I want to go? What do I really want? So by having that conversation, you propel yourself forward and you create certainty for yourself. So doubt is a really big one. There's a lot you can really explore and get a lot of insight from when you look into the doubt. And also remember, acknowledge your doubt. Thanks for showing up to protect me, right? That's its initial purpose. And the other purpose is giving you that opportunity to get even more committed to your future and your vision. And the last emotion I want to talk about is envy, okay? So envy is one that, sometimes people struggle with. I think earlier in this episode, I said jealousy. What I really meant was envy. So envy is and those terms can sometimes be used interchangeably, but I do want to distinguish both of those here. So envy is really when you want what someone else has. It's more associated with desire, like wanting something that someone else has achieved. Jealousy is more when you hold on to something that you're worried that you're going to lose. So I think for this episode, I just want to talk about envy. I don't want to confuse the two. And I made a podcast episode where I do go a lot deeper into envy. Episode 18, it's just called Envy. So you can learn more about that one in that episode. But what I want you to know and remember is that envy is really, really purposeful because it really gets you in touch with what you want. And I love talking about envy because I think it's one of the unspoken emotions. Like, people don't really talk about those that they're envious of because a lot of people don't like admitting that. I think people are more likely to, and also like envy has very cloaked ways of being expressed, whereas like you could probably know and see in others when there's sadness, when there's anxiety, when there's frustration. But envy is one that you might not see so clearly, or you might not notice in yourself as clearly. So sometimes it's a bit of a cloaked emotion, and it's one that, people don't really talk about. But I do love showing and revealing to people the purpose of envy because envy helps you get in touch with what you most want, okay? So if you see someone, because I know we're social beings, and especially with our social media opportunities we have of seeing so many people's lives, right? There's envy that I think has come up more than ever before. And you see other people living certain lives and you think, oh, I really want that. I'm envious of that person. So there's so much purpose in that for you to know, wow, okay, that person's showing me what I really want. And I love to tell clients that when you feel envy, remember that's all available to you as well. You just got to move forward and take the actions to create that life for yourself. So you can listen to my episode on envy to unpack that a little bit more, because I think it's a really amazing thing to notice when you look at someone or you hear about someone's life or accomplishments and you go, oh, I'm envious of them. I want that too. Great. Now that you want that, what steps can you take to move yourself closer to that? And also, it's a great way for you to have gratitude. Envy is a great opportunity for you to have gratitude for other people showing you what's possible, showing you what you're capable of, and also helping you get in touch with what you most want. Okay? So the one thing I want to end this episode with, this was super fun to really dissect these painful emotions. I want you to remember that, especially when it comes to, a lot of people talk about wanting financial freedom. I really do believe that one of the keys to financial freedom is emotional freedom. Being able to, because I know a lot of people listening want to have more success as coaches or in their careers, and you want to have financial freedom. One of the ways I believe you need to, in order to get there, one of the things you need to do is have emotional freedom. Emotional freedom means giving yourself the freedom to feel all of your emotions and to find the purpose in all of your emotions. Because if you don't have emotional freedom, you will feel trapped whenever you feel anxious, or whenever you want to put yourself out there with your business and you feel doubt, or whenever you experience rejection and you feel sad, and then you are trapped with your sadness, right? This is not emotional freedom. Okay, this is trapping yourself with emotions. So you can't have financial freedom until you're having emotional freedom. Emotional freedom is when you let yourself experience all emotions freely. It's when you find the purpose of all emotions, like we talked about in this episode. Because when you can feel all of the feels, when you can feel all the feels and feel all the emotions and still show up for yourself in your life, that's how you get all those results that you want. So what if your emotional freedom is one of the keys for you to experience financial freedom, okay? Give yourself permission to experience all emotions, and remember that every single emotion has a purpose. All right, so before I end this episode, I'm going to include a small clip sharing one of the stories from one of our coaches inside the Academy. So enjoy their story, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Hi, my name is Maggie Hemphill, and I am training to be a certified professional coach. I already have been engaged in a lot of mentoring and coaching people just naturally in who I am. And what led me to coaching was finding a way to monetize something that I'm already gifted at and making a career out of it. I think what drew me to get certified as a professional coach was finding some new tools to use. I think I had a lot of experience just with my everyday relationships and the things that I had learned along the way, that I really wanted some sort of tried and true practices, some tips and tricks for helping people that are really stuck in circular patterns of behavior or ways of thinking that have not benefited them. So I was looking for a way to kind of enhance and help me in places that would make me a more effective coach to people. When I was thinking about enrolling in the Thriving Coach Academy, one of the things that came up for me was, do I really want to invest this much money in myself? I was already doing some coaching, and like, is this something that's really going to take me to the next level? Is this going to be something that's going to really benefit both me and my clients? And what I have found is that I have grown more in my personal life, in honestly every area of my life, and it has impacted both my clients and myself personally. So both professionally and personally, this has grown me in ways that I could not have foreseen. Because of the growth that I've seen in multiple areas of my life, I've come to realize that it is definitely worth the financial investment in myself. Before I joined the Thriving Coach Academy, I think I was afraid to put myself out there as a coach. But by module 2, which was only a couple months into the program, to my amazement, I already had 8 potential clients lined up with a wait list of 5 people. Frank had said early on in our program that your clients are literally out there waiting for you. And I didn't believe him, but he has made me a believer. People are waiting for you to use your skills and your talents as a coach. Personally, this training has changed me in multiple areas of my life. Frank has always said that you are your first client, and it's true. My coaching training has shifted my way of thinking, and it has changed the way I engage people in various aspects of my life. It has opened up so many more opportunities for me to work as a coach. And I see this opening up a successful business for myself as a professional certified coach. One of the things that I am really excited for in regards to starting my own business as a coach is the amount of flexibility that I'm going to have being my own boss. I am excited about the seemingly limitless potential in financial security that I'll be able to have, knowing that I am the one who is going to decide the limits that I have for myself. And I would not have believed that for myself if I have not gone through the training and learned about the business aspects of becoming a coach. I have previously had another business and I had never been able to figure out why it didn't work and why it failed. And through Thriving Coach Academy, one of the courses that we take is on entrepreneurship. And it was through that I learned exactly why my previous business failed. And I'm so grateful for all of the entrepreneurship and business support that the Thriving Coach Academy gives us as you are setting up your own business. You will be a success because of the amount of support and business knowledge you will come out of through Thriving Coach Academy. I would tell a prospective student who is considering Thriving Coach Academy that you will grow in every area of your life if you embark on this journey to become a professional coach. Trust the process, lean into your classmates, ask questions of your instructors, and be open to transforming into the best version of yourself.
Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.